Okay, and we are live. Welcome everyone. This is another Truth Talks. Truth Talks is a panel discussion that we have through TRHT Kalamazoo, which is Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation. I am your host and moderator, Ed Genesis, also co-creator. And I say co-creator because my co-creator, co-conspirator, retired Captain Stacy Ledbetter. Shouts out to retired Captain Stacy Ledbetter. And shouts out to Shalana Lewis for supporting us and helping us build this platform in a way that we can speak to our community. And of course, shouts out to Emily Oliveras behind the scenes doing the tech support and everything. Today, we're talking about Black and brown entrepreneurs in the city and county of Kalamazoo. With no further ado, before we introduce the panelists, I want to make sure we discuss the touchstones. And the touchstones are just an agreement that we come together with to have conversations within TRHT Kalamazoo. Again, truth, racial healing, and transformation. And that is be 100% present, extending and presuming welcome. Speak your truth. Identify assumptions and suspend judgment. Respect and learn from silence. Maintain confidentiality. No language of the soul is privilege over any other language of the soul. Value feeling as much as knowing. No fixing, no saving, no advising. Trust the healing process, your own heart and the hearts of others. Listen deeply. When things get difficult, turn to wonder. And lastly, but not least, always by invitation. Those are the touchstones. Again, just a way that we come together to have a respectful conversation with one another. With that being said, I'd like to introduce the guest today, starting with you, Ida. If you can introduce yourself, your place of business, where you're located, and what do you bring to the city and county of Kalamazoo?
My name is Ida Salas, and I own La Familia Cafe, downtown Kalamazoo, 224 West Michigan Avenue, and I also own the Ida Salas Farmers Insurance Agency at 1522 Gull Road. And what I bring to the city, well, I bring good tacos, number one, and then definitely protection for business, home, auto, life insurance, and any other sort of insurance, renters, boats, RVs, travel.
Thank you very much for that. And you definitely bring good tacos to the city. Definitely, definitely. We frequent there. My wife and I frequent there a lot, a lot, a lot. So you're also the first Latinx woman to do insurance in the city or county of Kalamazoo. Isn't that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Got to give it up for that. Got to give it up for
Thank
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and going straight to the next panelist that we have on the call today, Mr. Sam Graves. How you doing, Bill Clay? Introduce yourself, please.
I'm all right. I'm all right. It's always a good day when you're making bill plays. Hear me? Okay, so owner of Bill Play Apparel, co-owner of No Limit LLC. Started in 2017, and it all just started as I'm co-owner of Soso's Mobile Detailing also, but that business kind of stopped and ended in between the pandemic. Nobody really wanted to get their car washed. Nobody really, that venture really went downhill then. But started in 2017, and I really want to give people the definition of bill play and where it came from. So you wake up in the morning, you go to work, it's a bill play for you. You go to the gas station, that's a bill play for them. Any side hustles you got going, also bill play. Consumers bills, car payments, rent-to landlord, all sorts of payment to bill play. So basically what I'm getting at is from politicians to poverty, everybody is making bill plays. Even you getting off the highway and handing a panhandler $2. Bang, that's a bill play from you to him or you to her. So with business going good, And with everything turning around since the pandemic, I've been still providing the community with things to do, such as Stop the Violence tournaments, back to school bashes, um, water slide events. It's just been different entities that I've been making sure that the kids, not just the kids, the grown-ups, having something to do. And it's I do it, I provide it, I set it up, and it don't just be me doing it. You know, I have partners, family members, Edge and himself helps out everybody. Like I try to reach out to people that I know that's gonna lock in and help out with it. You know, so it don't just be me. It'd be me and a couple other individuals.
You also have 2 locations too, right? For your
Yep.
clothing.
So my first location is Bill Play Apparel. That's out in Portage. That's 6650 Southwest Niche. And then the No Limit store is downtown where I'm at right now. It's 511 East Kalamazoo.
And he's being modest with that 6501. What you say? What's that address? That's the Crossroads Mall, and we got to give it up to a young black man.
665.
665.
It's 6650 Southwest Niche.
Yeah.
6650 Southwest Niche.
And that's upstairs in the Crossroads Mall for those who don't know that address. And to see this young black man begin selling his clothing out of the detailing shop where he started, and I mean, it caught on like wildfire. Like you go up and down in high school hallways, you will see the kids wearing the Bill Play. You will see the adults shopping in the store with the Bill Play. I rock Bill Play. My whole family rocks Bill Play. And not just because we are related, that is my cousin, but it's nice. It's nice clothing. It's good, and we have to support one another when we see something that's or taste something like those good tacos. We have to support one another and keep supporting, and that's how we are able to
I
build.
actually like those tacos. I've been there before. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's why when you said it, I was giving you the thumbs up. Like, yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
All right, so I just did see Mook, but then something must have happened. Because we do okay.
I'm here.
All right, we have Mook Thug in here too. If you can introduce yourself and your business. Yeah.
First off, how everybody doing? How y'all day going? My name is Mook. I am a local artist. I also have a film production company, The Family Visuals. Yeah. Ed, what was the other question you had, or what was the other thing that you wanted me to say?
We'll break down. Well, you pretty much answered, but like I had to make sure everybody knew that Ida was the first Latinx woman to do insurance in the city and how she's doing that. I also had to make sure that people knew Sam had Bill playing Crossroads and not just. And so for you, I have to say, you started local. You're not
Right.
local no more. You globally, like we can Google you. I can Google you right now. You know, and it's gonna bring up Amazon, iHeart, Spotify. So you took the artistry to a next level,
Right.
and
right.
yeah. So I just want to make sure you lift that up as well.
Okay, so yeah, taking the music to the next level. It's been a real tough process, man. You know, you got to get the support from not only fans but your peers also. I done been through like every phase of this stuff. Like I done been through the ups and downs. I done been through people telling me that, you know, music isn't a real career, all kinds of things. And I just stay focused and steady keep pushing so I can be able to be Googled and, you know, things like that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. As a matter of fact, you just opened up the door for the first question on the agenda, which is why did you start the business that you did? And if you don't mind, you can elaborate, finish going, and then we'll take it over to Sam and Ida.
Okay.
Why did you get into the business that you got into, whether it's artistry or the?
I will speak on the film production part of it as to why I got into that business. It was more or less, I felt that I was using more money was going out than it was coming in. And having a family and having things that you also got to take care of, you got to do what's best for you. So I got tired of things like having to call people to do videos or having to have people take my pictures or anything like that. And I'm like, hey, why don't I just, do this thing myself and make this another outlet for not only my music, but my clothing and also my peers.
That's I appreciate that breakdown, and that's great. That's how we build power. Like, you took the power in your own hands when you say stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and thank you for breaking that down. Ida, I want to pass it over to you and ask the same question. Like, what made you start your business?
So I actually had started in insurance about 7 years ago, and learned a lot from the agent that I started with initially. And then I went on to learn a lot about commercial insurance. So I learned a lot about business insurance, how businesses started. I learned almost every part of what business insurance was. Selling it, all businesses are unique, everybody's different, whether you're a construction worker, an artist, a hair salon. I mean, everything is different, so you get to learn a lot about people. And then I got into the home and auto and the life insurance part of it to just protect a life as a whole and be able to provide that kind of coverage. So I got to the point where I felt that I was just working under somebody and wanted to do that for myself and not be building wealth for somebody else, but rather than like I could do this on my own too. So I should, break off and start my own agency and start doing it for me rather than just being part of an agency and building into an agency owner's wealth. So I decided to make that transition and do that for myself and start working on building a retirement for myself.
That makes a lot of sense. And again, that's a great way to build power, because that's and the food is great. So I'm glad that you did do set out to fill a necessary void in the city, because I think it's great that you all did that, and the atmosphere is great. So thank you for contributing and having the courage to step up and do something like that. Sam, same question. Like, what made you start?
All right, so truth. Let's start with the truth. Like, how you say. Um, I was working this job, and it was on me, why I came to work late that morning. It wasn't on nobody else, but the owner talked to me and like felt like I really got like belittled. And I didn't like that, and so I pursued my dreams instead of working for the next person. I just pursued my dreams, and that's where Bill played. I took hand. I started with the 5 logos and pushed those and pushed them and pushed them. And then the trailer fell in my lap. A trailer with 250 gallons, tank in it, pressure washers, um, generators, lawnmowers. Well, I went out and bought those extra things, but I put those inside that trailer, and that's what got my car wash started. And I just felt like if I'm putting in 100% at this job, I know I could put 100% in for myself. So that's where I just started putting 100% in and just never looked it back. That's what really motivated me to getting my own business and starting it, was that You know, at some point, you know, you just get tired of people of how they treat you with in the workforce. So that's what pushed me to start my own business.
That's a great breakdown too, because colleges are built, you know, for money, of course. You get the degree, but anybody will tell you right now, like, not only do you leave in debt, and this is no diss to college. I have a daughter that's going to Western. Shouts out to my daughter Genesis. She's knocking it out. And anybody that has the opportunity to do so, please do. But be conscious of the fact that colleges do prepare you to run other people's businesses, unless you go to like a trade school or a specific something that's preparing you to be an entrepreneur. So this world is predicated on keeping the businesses that already exist going. And by doing that, we need employees. And America produces, every job has a human resource department. And that's because we are the resources here in North America. We don't have diamonds, gold, and things like that. We have access to a plethora of people that will work for sometimes low wages. We have to fight for people to get higher wages and things like that. So when a person can set out and be an entrepreneur and set out on their own, that's always a great thing. But we have to ask, of course, the $1 million question. You're Black and brown. It's not easier. It's not easy as it sounds to just say, I'm gonna start my own business. Is it, Ida? I want to start with you if I can, because you said some things behind the scenes that was like, yeah, I hear the same story a lot. How difficult was it to pursue your dream, to begin pursuing your dream? And I'm gonna add in something, and that's what made you stick with it. So if we can start with, was it difficult? I don't want to assume that it was difficult. It was difficult. Was it difficult? And if so, what made you stick with it?
So it was difficult initially to start out when I opened the restaurant. I opened in 2019, and I just felt that I didn't have any resources or any guidance on where to go. So I was calling around. I mean, I had a location, I had a plan for it, but there was so much to the business that I wasn't aware of, that I wish I would have had some more support, some more guidance on how to get it done, because I had an idea of what the business was going to be, and I had a plan, but there's so much more to it when you get going that I had no idea, and I didn't know who to talk to or where to start. So I was calling around and trying to get help on basically on getting everything registered legally for the business. Like, I had gotten the LLC and the tax ID, but I needed to register with the state of Michigan and my taxes and my federal and my unemployment and get an accountant. And I just didn't know how to get all that together and how to register the business to have all those in line financially. So financially, I had to put out a lot of my own money too, because I didn't qualify for a loan. I had never gotten a business loan. I didn't know how to go about it. I went to the bank. They said restaurants are one of the biggest, or that's the one loan that they deny more than anything, is a restaurant loan. So I kind of took it as that. I'm like, well, they ain't gonna help me. They give me no money. They didn't really ask me a whole lot though. So there was part of me that felt a little discriminated, because they didn't ask me, like, I own a home. I mean, I have assets for them to be able to help me on that part, but they couldn't explain that very well to me, other than, restaurants are too high risk, so we don't give loans for that. And I thought that was a little hard to believe, because there's so many restaurants. I can't imagine these businesses not having any kind of financial assistance when they get into a bigger restaurant. So I don't know. That still is something that's puzzling to me, but I didn't want to give up because I wanted to have a restaurant downtown Kalamazoo because they didn't have any diversity as far as the kind of food that was down there. There was no Mexican food down there. You know, I was frequenting downtown all the time. All we had was like the Taco Bob's, and you know, Taco Bob's is okay, but there wasn't any like authentic Mexican food down there, and I think that was missing on that part of the city. So I was determined to bring it down there, and I wanted to leave something for my kids. My son was in culinary school at Valley, and I wanted him to be a part of it. That's why it's called La Familia, and it's me, my husband, my son on the logo. So it's a family thing, you know, all three of us. And I wanted to set my son up. You know, he was 19 years old and passionate about food and wanted to learn business. And I wanted my son to be a business owner. I wanted him to see this business grow from the ground up and be hands-on through the whole process. Start young and see what it is to run a business and be there from the ground up. So I wanted to set my son up to not be an employee, but a business owner. And I wanted him to walk alongside me and build that together and eventually leave that to him. And the challenges, I feel like there hasn't been any support. I just was, you know, persistent and pushed through it, and late nights, early mornings, work 7 days a week, pushed through it and got it done. No rest.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And I wanna lift up that when you lifted up like non traditional Mexican tacos. So I grew up Americanized. I never knew that there was a difference. And so going into you all's restaurant, my wife prefers the traditional tacos. I like the I've been Americanized, so my palate says, give me the meat, the cheese, and the sour cream. And she wants the onions, the cilantro, on the traditional. So I think that that's important, that we really know about culture and not just what was borrowed or stolen from. And then introduced to us, like I said, this was all I knew was Taco Bell or a local restaurant. And even though I grew up in Gary, Indiana, which was different than Kalamazoo, I still cannot say that I had traditional taco until you all opened up. And so thank you for bringing like real culture and heritage to the city. I want to ask Sam the same question. Have you faced any difficulties in starting your business or any adversity or anything? And then what made you keep going, if so?
Okay, so um, yeah, at first I did have troubles with the support. You know, that was the only thing. I mean, money wasn't really the problem as far as getting everything started, because it kind of came with the trailer that I had bought. But getting people to actually support you was kind of a hard thing with promotion, um, web pages, and those sort of things. At first, was kind of a hard thing to get a hold of. But once I obtained the website and got a hold of how to promote and market, things started turning around. What was the other question?
What made you keep going when you did face that difficulty?
Um, prayer, and you know, I have 3 kids. At that intended moment, I only had 2 kids, One was born in 2014. One was born in 2015. So it was my kids what made me keep going. You know, if I give up, I'm giving up on them. So I just keep it going.
Dig that. Thank you. Moot, the same question. What difficulties, if any, have you faced starting your business, and what made you keep going if you did face any?
I would kind of reiterate on what both Ida and Sam said. Kind of the support thing. That's like the toughest battle that you have when trying to be a business owner or anything. You want certain people to support you when most of the time those won't even be the people that will stick around to support you. And that can kind of be discouraging sometimes. So what kept me going, once again, like Sam said, my kids, prayer, things like that, being able to keep the positive energy around me and things like that really helped me, say, regardless of what's going on or what will happen, I got to stick with this because I can't let not only my kids down, but myself down.
I really appreciate that all three of y'all really mentioned family as a part of your vision and what you're doing. I think that's dope. We need more of that in Black and brown communities, like for real. We have to pass it down. That's how we create that generational wealth, generational knowledge. Okay, so I'm an entrepreneur myself. And I just got a flash of an idea looking at all of y'all, and I'm thinking, so what's up with a commercial? We already know we need to build play commercial, so we got to have that. But I'm thinking about a La Familia commercial with some of the people in the restaurant rocking different versions of build play shot by Family Visuals.
Hey, I'm all ears. I'm ready whenever.
I think we can make something like this happen. I love connecting the dots and stuff like that, and I think that might be a good look.
Also, Ida is the La Familia.
Yes.
I love that place.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the breakfast tacos. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I was just saying I eat there a lot. So we got some work to do offline as far as a collaborative, pushing forward and doing something. Yeah. One of the questions on the agenda is if you can go back in time and tell something to your old self, like especially with what you're doing now and the time that it took to arrive to that point to say, like how Sam, you brought up that boss saying something. Sometimes we need that adversity to push us in that corner to say, you know what, I don't like this corner, so I'm coming out this corner. So I don't know what I would tell my old self. I think I would just say, get ready for a long ride. Like it's gonna be a real one. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be good on the other end. Just hold your head up and get ready. That's probably the only thing I would say. I wouldn't say move any different because I learned a lot from being hard-headed and stepping into the fire a lot of times and having to be told that's the wrong thing that you should be doing. Maybe you should try this. So that's what I would say to my old self. Sam, what would you say to your old self?
Okay, so if I can go back at least about 3 years, I will say to my old self, don't give up. Because sometimes God will throw that little rock out there. He'll throw the little rock out there to see what you're going to do. It's all up to you as if you on that little rock. Then he'll throw that rock on you. All up to you as if you're going to hurt the rock or swirl around. It's up to you. So with the with the trials and all that, there's some things that put me in a state of mind it had me 2 days. I was well in a week when I could have just swerved around it or hurdled over that rock. So it was certain things that was like that just had me like trial and error, like you were saying earlier.
It sounded like you said something real dope and philosophical, but you was chopping up a little bit, so we only heard a little bit of it. Like, I don't know if you're in a bad spot.
Can you hear? Am I good now? I got all my bars. I'm good now.
Yeah, you sound good now.
Okay, so all right, so what I said was 3 or 4 years ago, if I would have known that God was going to throw a little rock out there, that I would have swerved around the little rock. Then sometimes he's going to throw a big rock out there. It's all about as if you're going to hurdle over the big rock or swerve around the big rock. Them type of things I didn't really know that he was testing me, trying me out to see how I was going to handle that trial and error. I just didn't know, you know what I'm saying? So something that you don't know, you're blindsided to it. And I was blindsided to those certain type of things. And if I would have knew then what I know now, I would have just swerved around that rock or hurdled over that rock and kept it pushing. I'm not saying that I gave up, but it was just like those trial and errors probably set me back a day or two or maybe even a week when I could have just swerved around it, hurdled over it, and kept it pushing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So yeah, and you telling your younger self, or at least like your 3 years ago self, to navigate a little better, just, you know, swerve, bob and weave, like the trainer watching the fighter, just say, yeah, move around, give him a little distance. I like that. Yeah.
Because God is gonna always throw. He's gonna throw them little rocks at you. He's gonna throw those bigger rocks at you, and it's all up to you as if you're gonna hurdle over them or not.
The late great Frederick Douglass said, with no struggle, there's no progress. So we got to look at it like that, like and we appreciate it more. We definitely appreciate it more when anything work for us, appreciate it more. But Ida, what would you tell your younger self if you can go back in time?
I would tell my younger self to make my own way and not wait on any opportunity and make my own opportunities. And I feel like I should be where I'm at now probably 5 years ago if I wasn't, self-conscious and feeling like I wasn't ready. You know, I feel like professionally with the insurance world, I mean, I should have been done this 5 years ago on my own rather than building wealth for somebody else. I just felt like I didn't have the confidence to go on my own. But, now I look at it and I've been ready. I mean, I've been way ahead of myself and just kind of been sitting back and comfortable and didn't take the lead for this business on my own. I was waiting for an opportunity and I should have made this opportunity myself. Rather than sitting back and just waiting for a door to open, I should have opened the door myself. So I feel like a lot of people are in that same area. They're kind of waiting for an opportunity when they make opportunities and open a door and not be scared.
Yeah. I love how you said waiting on that door to open. You could have opened it yourself, and telling your younger self to just be more courageous. Just try it. Just the door might open if you twist the doorknob, open it up. But society does tell us that, I don't know. And if you do open up the door, we Black and brown, you might get kicked out. Somebody might yell at you as soon as the door open up. You know, you might go to jail. You might be killed for opening up the door. But you'll definitely feel shame. And the definition of shame is to feel isolated from others. And nobody wants to feel like they're the odd person out. Like Mook lifted up earlier, you got family that's saying, even family and friends, like, well, that's just a dream. You got to get a real job. And it's like, what is a real job? Somebody thought this up, created it, and that's why Family Dollar exists. And that's where you want me to put all my energy into. And some people just don't agree. Mook Duggan, what would you tell? I keep saying that because that's the professional name that I know. So I mean, no, for anybody listening, I'm not calling him a thug. He's not a thug. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman, but he's also an artist. So that's what y'all are hearing. It's not me referencing,
Right.
yeah, nothing negative or anything like that. So I just want to make sure I clear that up for anybody watching and don't know what you bring to the table.
Yes,
But
artist name.
absolutely.
So please don't feel alarmed. But what I would say to my younger self, or years back, I would say don't really let people in your ear. Kind of speaking on what Ida said, you will get caught up in what doing something for others or helping someone else build their stuff that you will lose yourself. And that was part of my main problem. And that's why now I'm in a better place than I was 4 or 5 years ago, because I took the losses and I took the rocks, like Sam said, and I let other people's actions and other people's business and other people's things cloud my own when I had my own vision for myself and I didn't even see it. So to my younger self, I would say, stay focused on you, because you can help others and you can do this and you can have a great heart. But if the people that you're doing it for don't have the same morals or goals as you, then you'll be stuck.
Wow, that's now that's very, and I hope to the listeners that y'all caught those jewels as well. You have to align yourself with like-minded individuals, or they can drill holes in the ship that you're trying to take somewhere. So you have to align yourself with like-minded people. And then also, I learned something from a wise person that said, if you are the smartest person in the room, switch rooms. So you always want to stay learning too. You always want to be in a position where you can have wisdom bestowed upon you by more wiser people that's been in it or whatever. I want to switch lanes, and I want to talk about two things that hit out of what y'all said and shared, and it comes up a lot. And one of them is sports, and the other one is entertainment. So we live in North America, which is built by capitalism and racism. So we know that on any given weekend, we can cruise around Kalamazoo, Detroit, Chicago, Gary, Benton Harbor, Flint. We can go over to the East Coast, Harlem, Brooklyn. We can find players to put together a roster that challenges anybody in the NBA and actually give them a run for their money. However, because of the hierarchy and the capitalism and the racism that exists, they don't get the chance to do that. So they have to go through this tunnel. It's the same way entertainment. We know some of the greatest musicians. Again, you can go through some of these same areas or include Las Vegas or places in California, downtown Chicago and Detroit, and you will see some of the most amazing talent. But the way it's set up is you don't exist. That's why I didn't want Mook to say he was local. He's not local. He started local, but you can Google him, and that's global. And I'm talking Canada, Hawaii, so on and so forth. He's accessible. But because we deal with that racism and capitalism model in North America, we are up against, well, you haven't made it yet, or I wish you would have got signed. And it's like, signed to who? God, the creator, the whoever you believe in, gave us the talent that we all have. But we exist in the Wizard of Oz, where the Tin Man already had a heart, but they had to give him that alarm clock, something that he can touch. in order for him to feel like he got something. And the Cowardly Lion needed this medal of courage. And all of these people needed something tangible. We exist in that, which is like the Matrix that says you need this in order to be successful. And sometimes our community buys into that and then feeds us right back that negativity. Like I'm supporting because I'm doing you a favor. So I'm coming to La Familia because I'm doing you a favor. So in 2 weeks, let me get something free or let me get a discount. I hooked you up. I support it. Mook, let me get a free CD. I'm your peoples. I'm your fam. Sam, why can't I get a discount? Why can't I get a t-shirt? I'm your cousin. When we go through these type of things, it's repeating that same negative, the things that we were taught, that we have to jump over those hurdles and jump over those. Michael Jordan is a great player, but we know that he's a great player because he was able to enter a system that put him on a platform to where the world can see how great he was. And then Coca-Cola, Wheaties, Nike, and everybody else said, well, we'll help push that campaign. If we don't realize that and take our entities that we have to push the same type of thing, then we'll see the dropouts. We'll see the people that can out-hoop LeBron James right now serving 30 to life. And we'll continue to see those type of mishaps in the Black and brown community because we are faced with mass incarceration, Black and brown men disproportionately being the victims of gun violence and or on the other end of gun violence. And so they going to prison and jail. School to prison pipeline is real. Age of reason in Michigan is just 7 years old. Biggest homeless population in Kalamazoo County is single Black women. Don't even get me started on the fact that we just had a meeting earlier. There's no Latinx representation in the city, in the city of Kalamazoo as far as elected officials. When we had these type of conversations and you ride up and down your street and you feel successful as an entrepreneur, and your kids know what you do and your family knows what you do, but your community barely knows, that's not only a slap in the face, that's the remnants of exactly what I'm talking about, the capitalism, the racism that says this athlete is good, but not good enough. This entertainer is good, but not good enough. This restaurant was dope for these 5 years, but I wish that was still there. And we have to chase down other food. I go out of town so much just to eat, like it's ridiculous. But that's my rant. I want to just go left for a minute on things that I see on a larger scale that trickles down in the school that says, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you barely hear a person say an entrepreneur. I want to own my own business. And when you do hear a child say, well, I want a candy store, I want to do this, I want to do that, then it's met with that, okay, that's good, but what are you going to do in the meanwhile? And it's like, well, what does that mean? Like, what is the meanwhile? And that's why a lot of people go to the underworld and sell drugs and things like that, because the meanwhile suggests that what you're telling me is that I need to pay my bills while I want to live a real dream. And lastly, I just want to say this, because I would be remiss if I didn't lift up the fact that America was built on crime, white men taking something that wasn't theirs, period. The Rockefellers, the Kennedys, the Bushes, all of the people who are established throughout history did some type of underworld crime to establish and get a lot of their money, and some of the same things that they'll lock us up for. Before I sat in front of this microphone and hosted this, before I was a racial healing practitioner, artist, or anything that was considered legitimate, I was considered a miscreant by society. I have 3 felonies. I'm directly impacted in what they call formerly incarcerated. Excuse me. And I sold weed. And now you can legally buy weed, but not from nobody black or brown. So again, we are faced with so much adversity that's like I was an entrepreneur then, but nobody saw or could see. The right people wasn't getting the money off of it. That's what it was. So I was not considered an entrepreneur. I was considered a criminal. But now it's legal, so it's like one little loophole allows for a whole lot. I don't want to out-talk y'all because I'm only the host. Y'all supposed to be the ones talking, but I had to get that out because these type of things that we deal with is exactly, this is what racism looks like when we have these type of conversations. It not prejudice and somebody calling us out our name, but actual racism, to where we have to unlearn what they taught us and then learn to tap into our original selves and have enough courage to face the world. My fault for going so long. I'm gonna kick this over to Mook if I can, because I watched your grind, your hustle, your work ethic is like unmatched by a lot of people within your peer group. Like, you run circles around a lot of people. We've had that conversation offline. What keeps you like, what is that? What motivates you?
What motivates me, man, is knowing that people like you out there, man, who appreciate the things that I do, and I do it not only for, you know, my family and stuff, man, but I do it for us that's on this discussion panel. People like us who really trying to make a way for not only ourselves but our people also. You know, that right there alone makes a person like me keep going hard, because I know that somebody somewhere is watching and that they approve of the things that I'm doing, no matter if it takes me a few minutes or 100 years. You know what I'm saying? They see my progress and they see my growth, and when I hear stuff like that, it sparks something in me. You never know, what you just said might make me make a song today.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I gotta say this too. Having a conversation about you offline with Emily, and I was telling her how excited. Shouts out to Tanya Mimi Bellamy, who formerly worked at the Lewis Walker Institute and is a part of Truth, Racial Healing, Transformation. When Mook performed at the Northside Association for Community Development, Tanya Bellamy lost her mind and was like, Mook Thug in here? I'm like one of his biggest fans. And I just thought that was so dope. And I was like, I got to introduce y'all.
Yeah.
So it's real. It's real. I got to kick it over to Sam too, because when I say respect, intelligence, and the same type of thing I just said about Mook, your grind, your hustle, I'm proud to know both of y'all. Honestly, I'm proud to be able to say this fam, and this is my cousin, right? This is my younger cousin. So many people talk about Bill play, right? That's my cousin, man. Y'all like that? And they say, yeah, man, especially them high school kids, say, man, they love that. What motivates you? What keeps you going?
The support lately been really keeping me focused, as far as like, hey, go do this, go drop this, and I would like for you to make me this hoodie and make it this way and make it this way. It's just like, it's just putting it in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure I get on that right now, instead of putting it off until next week. You know, sometimes with everything going on, you catch yourself in a procrastination state, like, all right, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I've been getting out of that, like, I'm gonna do that right now. So it's just been, I don't want to keep saying family, but got a family to feed too. So it's like that's what really be keeping me going, like running 100 miles per hour a day. Just like trying to just change the narrative around here, from the community events to the businesses to the hour of academic time that I got to give to the kids now that they're back in school. Make sure I give them an hour of academic time, like from 7 to 8 or from 6 to 7 every day. That's what keep me going.
That's dope. That's dope. Y'all make me proud that I know y'all, like, for real, in a real way. Ida, the same question. What motivates you and keeps you going?
So it used to initially be just my family, my son, my husband, my parents, but now it's like the community motivates me. The people that come in, I feel like I owe the city this service of good food. I owe my community this. You know, I feel like I'm obligated to, like you said, share my culture, share my food, a good experience. You know, we're not like a typical Mexican restaurant, have all the bright colors, and you know, we're not like that because I'm a Mexican American. I mean, I'm still really rooted in my culture, but we've evolved as a people. You know what I mean? So I feel like this is me. I'm a modernized Mexican. I'm first generation American. I'm from Southern Texas. I like Tex-Mex food too. So, you know, I sell that. I sell my Tex-Mex, my authentic, my grandma's recipes. I just want to share that with the community and be authentic and be real and show, you know, that I am modernized, but, you know, this is me, it's my culture. And I feel like I owe that to the community, and that drives me to provide, you know, good food and good service.
You know what? That was very important what you said. And just to expand on that just for a minute, you lifted up like the bright colors and the things like that. And what I want to say to that is, especially, this is transformative. So we're talking about truth, racial healing, and transformation. So one of the things that you just touched on is what they call stereotypes. And in America, we feel like when we walk into a Mexican restaurant, there's supposed to be certain things that you see, and you're like, nah, not necessarily, because I beg to differ. And I appreciate that it's not. I learned something recently, and I have to share this. So I do transformative justice work, formerly known as criminal justice reform work. And with that work, I learned that marijuana is a pejorative term. It was made up to sound Mexican. It was made up by two white men, Harry J. Anslinger and William Hearst, who owned newspapers, propagandized this. And so before I knew, I've used the word myself. So what I learned by what pejorative means is, pejorative is if they ask me to play a black man in a movie and I say, okay, great. But then when I show up, they say, put on this do-rag, put these gold teeth in your mouth and talk like this, then that's pejorative. So it's a negative connotation that's rooted in racism. And we have to be very aware of things like that, because sometimes we can perpetuate and power stereotypes and not even know it. So I really appreciate the fact that you had the intentionality of lifting up the fact that it's an authentic Mexican restaurant, but get it out of your head that what we've been shown, what is authentic, is not all the times authentic. I learned so much about Cinco de Mayo that, like, through one of these conversations, we had a real in-depth conversation about Cinco de Mayo and how America views that as a holiday of getting drunk, get some tequila, show up to inauthentic or authentic and just hoot, holler, and have a good time. And that's not what it's about. and I don't want to go too. What time is it? If you can, Ida, would you like to touch on what it's really about, and how it's been Americanized? I can shut up for a minute because I don't want to
Hey, real quick, my phone is about to die, y'all. What do I do? Because I don't got a charger in here.
Okay, well, it's about that time. You might want to say, what would you tell any Black and brown entrepreneur? That's the last question on the agenda, and then you can say your pieces and where we can see you. What would you tell any Black and brown entrepreneurs that's upcoming right now?
To never give up.
To never give up. It's going to be times where it's going to get slow. Business is going to get slow, or your music might not take off as far as being supported, shares, likes, or like I was saying with business, with your sales and everything, it's not going to always go according to plan. So you might have to jump over that hurdle. You might have to swerve around that rock, but just make it happen and don't give up, and you're going to get there.
Appreciate that. And again, where can they find Bill Play Clothing?
You can find Bill Play Clothing inside of Crossroads Mall. You can find it at billplaycustoms.com. And then you can also hit me up personally and make a custom order. If you like different custom orders, like this custom order, like what I got on right now.
No limit.
It's just different stuff, you know what I'm saying? But as far as that, yeah, I'll have more at No Limit in about 2 weeks. I'm remodeling that right now to where you'll be able to pick it up from that location also.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Stay on till your phone die. Just let us see your face. All right.
I got you.
And Ida, if we could kick it back over to you and you can break down what I was saying, like as far as the Cinco de Mayo and how we've seen it in America versus what it really is.
So Cinco de Mayo was the French came to take over Puebla, and we beat the French to keep our land. We're coming to take it over. So we're trying to celebrate that as a Puebla, but it's not Independence Day. Our Independence Day is actually September 18th, which I'm going to be hosting a fiesta in Bates Alley behind Green Top on September 18th. And I actually wanted to do like a taco showdown downtown and invite a lot of different food vendors from around the area, because I noticed that everybody's all over this like tacos and tequila thing. Like the festivals are real big, and we don't have any festivals like that in Kalamazoo. Like none of the Hispanic businesses get together and do anything to work together. So I wanted to throw Taco and Tequilas Fest downtown at the Arcadia Creek Festival site. But because of COVID and the liquor commission in the area, now that we're like the open, you can walk around drinking and whatnot, I kind of messed up the perimeter where you can have drinks in that area. So they wouldn't let me do the Arcadia Festival. So they allowed me to use the Bates Alley. And I had some vendors. I didn't get any big commitments on that. So we went from a taco festival showdown to just Hispanic Heritage Fiesta. So I got some musicians in line back there. I use Sean Hollins. I don't know if you know Sean Hollins. I used to go to church with him down at Mount Zion, and he's got his own business. And he's the one that actually made my business cards, because he's a Black entrepreneur. He just purchased RJ's Printing Ink. So he's a printer, graphic designer, amazing. He does all the stuff at the church. He's done all my business and my husband's business, and he's just very talented and just a great guy. And he puts a lot of effort into his work, and everything he does is golden. So if you guys need anybody, Sean purchased RJ Printing right downtown. So he's really good. He's on Fortitude. And he's working on my flyers, and we're going to have some food down there, some music, and just a celebration of our culture and our Independence Day.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And that, again, it's important that we share the real culture. We had the same conversation around Juneteenth, and just talking to people about the cultural significance of being able to share heritage out in the community. And for those that don't know, Juneteenth was the freeing of the last slaves that did not get the news in Texas when a lot of the other slaves was freed. And I would be a lie if I told y'all that all slaves were free, because the 13th Amendment allows for slavery to still exist to this day through incarceration. If you are awarded to the state, you are considered a slave and indebted to society. With that, keep it going. Gotta always drop that truth, because we gotta transform and in order to grow. Do y'all have, I love where Ida just went and shouting out Sean and RJ's printing like that. Do y'all have any other businesses that you all support within the community? Yeah, any, I got a list that I'm gonna name off in a minute myself of just a couple shouts out, but do you all, Mook, do you know any other businesses that you frequent?
Yeah, I can give a shout out to, first let me give a shout out to La Familia, Bill Play, you Ed. I could also give
I think you froze, Mook.
hear me?
Can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. I will give a shout out to Platinum and Gold Clothing. That's 5936 Kings Highway. PJ Creole and Soul Cuisine. That's a mobile truck. Curtis Woods. Cookies 5-Star Grill. Like I said, La Familia, Bill Play. Man, really pretty much anyone in the Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Grand Rapids surrounding areas. Shout out to you guys, man, and keep working and never give up, like Sam said, and do it more for the art instead of the money, because as long as you're doing it for the art, God gonna give you everything you need. The money is gonna come, the business is gonna come, but if you're doing it for the art, man, you blessed beyond measure.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I started to say something about that earlier, like how do you measure success? And you really broke that down. I think all of y'all been saying that anyway, because you have that family support. And when you can do something that you thought of, it's dope if 100,000 people love what you thought of. But for one, it's a success if you can manifest what you thought of, like to really think of something and then hold it in your hand. That is a success. And then when you can show that to your family and they're fascinated and they support, to me, the rest is just all icing on the cake. It's just extra icing, really. It's not even the icing. It's just extra icing, which I love too and I appreciate. But I think Mook broke that down very eloquently when he says do it for the love and not for which it sounds like all of you all do anyway. You did it because this is what you love to do, and then the money came. Ida, do you have any other entrepreneurs or businesses that you want to shout out?
Yes, I have a lot. So, starting my restaurant, I needed a complete new floor. So, carpet house flooring. So Jose Raso, he's a small business owner, Hispanic business owner in Kalamazoo. He's owned the carpet house for a long time. The best flooring guy in the city, in the area. He did my office here. He did my restaurant flooring. He's class act, professional, clean, got the best flooring, quick, clean, and he does a good job. Also, his store, he owns La Hispanica Market on Portage and Hayes Park. And I purchased some of my meat from him, some of my spices from him. And right next door to him is the New Era Cleaning Supplies. It's a Hispanic business owner, as well. His name is Vicente. He gets 5-gallon buckets of cleaning supplies, any kind of flooring, shampoo, dish soap, anything you need, Gain, Tide. He's got those in 30-gallon buckets for pretty cheap. And I buy those for the restaurant to clean and mop our floors and wash our dishes. And he's even got laundry soap and lots of other products that he's got. And it's just like the Tide or Gain, same sense, but cheap and big family supply. So he's really a great business to support. He's got a good product and you're giving to a family rather than, a big Fortune 500 company like Tide and Gain and Dawn. And I also support the Azteca Bakery. I buy my bread for my Mexican sandwiches there. I'm looking forward to working with Victorian Bakery. I'm going to be getting some pastry items from her this winter. She's over there next to Park Street Market. She's, I want to say she's from another country too. She's a different kind. I don't know where she's from. Her name's Maria. I want to say she's German or something. And then I also want to say I use our tech guys. He's an African American guy. He's a tech. He set up all my systems here. He's out of Richland. His name's Ryan. Our tech guys. He came in here. He did a great job. Professional. Set up all my tech stuff. Just a class act as well. And that's a business where there's not a lot of minorities involved in, security, cameras, computer programming and all that. He does all that. So he's been really great to work with on that. Also, I've been using Huey for my restaurant, so DeMarco White for his cheesecakes. They're at the cafe. They're delicious. He's got a lot of new stuff he's coming up with, and the people love it. I can't keep it on shelves. I mean, DeMarco is a great baker, and he's got a good thing. I hope the best for him. I want to one day hopefully support him at his own cafe or his own restaurant when he gets there, because he deserves it. He's talented, and he needs to have his own place. So I've been supporting him for a few months now, since the beginning of summer. I also have Soldadera Coffee out of Grand Rapids. It's a women-owned, Hispanic women-owned business, and they have traditionally brewed Mexican cold coffee, and they're the first ones that invented a resealable metal can lid. And Soldadera means woman soldier. So in Spanish, so it's about, fighting a good fight as a woman and being a professional and getting out here and being an entrepreneur in a man's world. So I really enjoy their products. They got hibiscus coffee, cinnamon coffee, and a dark brewed coffee. And they're in a lot of stores and markets in Grand Rapids. And we're the only ones in Kalamazoo that carry that coffee, cold brew. Also, let me think who else. There's so many people that I use because I want to support local and small businesses. I have a printer that I'm using. It's the printing company that did our t-shirts, printing our tie-dye t-shirts. They're out of Battle Creek. The guy that owns Torti Taco, it's his son. He's just graduated graphic design company. Or he just got into graphic design, small out of his house business, and he did our prints on our tie-dye t-shirts. They did a really good job also. They're up and coming. I don't got the name now because they're so new, but yeah, so we've been supporting them. And I have so many people. I mean, if you've got a good idea and we can work together, I'll give you a shot too.
We coming to build
But,
with
I mean,
you.
I think it's important.
Mook, Ida ready to work.
It's
We going to do
important.
that commercial. Ida, wow, thank you. That's what's up. I love the fact that all of us have already eaten at your restaurant and love the food. Like Mook got on late and didn't even know.
Yeah.
And then when he put two and two together, was like, oh, what? Yeah. So
I actually got hip from the restaurant because one of my good friends from back home in LA, he came here and you know he Mexican, so he like, oh man, let me take me to a Mexican place. And I had him go. I'm like, just Google them because I go to all of them. So he Googled La Familia, and I'm like, oh, I ain't never been to this one before. So I went the first time, and I'm like, okay. Went the second time, I'm like, oh yeah, this is my spot.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'm yeah. They
Yeah.
got me. Yeah, I don't go nowhere else. They got they got me.
Chorizo with the eggs and the cheese or something on the taco is so good.
Our
Oh, you like
breakfast.
the breakfast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you all support other businesses, Black and brown entrepreneurs too. I think that's dope. I
I think
love
that's
that you have,
important.
yeah. I love the list that you have,
It's
Ida.
important.
I gotta shout out some people real fast. I gotta shout out Grub and Stuff. They at 701 Riverview. Every time I go in, they already know chicken fried extra, extra, extra hard. I got to shout out Ty's Joint, 1301 Portage. I'm going to shout out Twine Urban Winery, 1319 Portage. Exclusive Barbershop, 782 North Westnich. Myself, I go to Roshan, which is Above and Beyond, and that is 305 East Stockbridge Avenue. She owns her own building, been cutting hair for over 20 years. Yes, I said she. A woman cuts my hair and laces me. She dope. And then also, shouts out to Simply Sea Moss. Ebony Hemphill has Simply Sea Moss, and that will be real soon being sold out of the People's Food Co-op, 216 North 4th Avenue. And Mook, you had your hand up. You was going to say something.
I do.
No, it's Ida.
I was gonna say you're right. Grubs and stuff. When we have our Friday lunches at the cafe, we always order from Grubs and Stuff on Fridays. I treat the staff to fish and ribs on Fridays, and we always order from them. So they come in, and then we bring them tacos. And
that's building community.
Yeah.
That's building community. Because I got a commercial that I want to do.
We put a big order in over there with him.
You about to get some work.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get some work going on because we got some restaurants we got to go visit and get some promotion going.
Talking about the barbers, we got a barber too. We got a barber too. Juan's Barber Shop over in Millwood. He used to be here in the Eastside Plaza, but he's in Millwood now. So Juan's Barber Shop, they come in and eat with us all the time too. And my husband has a Thursday set appointment, so he went and got his haircut today. So he goes every Thursday, sees Juan, and he's got another barber. Yeah, another guy there with African American guys, so it's just two of them that cut hair.
Okay, well, shouts out to Juan's Barber Shop, yeah, in Millwood, yeah. And let's keep building this community. The more intentional we are as far as doing exactly what we're talking about, the more the future. Within 5 years, we're taking our kids into these places. We know the owners. We're speaking to one another. Like, y'all are the owners and operators of this. So when we go into these establishments, just to be able to say, hey, how you doing? That's a great thing that the kids, our children, see. That's building power. It's not a supervisor and you're going in and talking to your boss. This is like a fellow entrepreneur, a fellow colleague out here grinding and getting it, and what they say, getting it from the mud or starting from the bottom. When you have to dig and claw and build, I'm really impressed by you all's entrepreneurial spirit and family values. I feel real comfortable knowing that people such as yourselves are in the community which will make the community a better place. Thank you. Thank you all, for real. Sam not here no more, but thank him too. I done rock bill play everywhere. When I'm out of town, they like, what's that? I'm like, man, check it out. And Mook, you already know, you coast to coast. So whenever I'm anywhere, you are definitely one of the people that I can always say, whenever they ask, well, where do you live now? Where you from? I can always say, boom, check this out. And it's like, whoa, now that's, and it's always the same response, always the same response. It's so small here that what you both bring to the table, and Sam, from the clothing to the food to the music to now the family visuals, and even insurance, our family will see us or our peer group or our loved ones and say, you know, if you did this here, you would be this, which is true. It's very true. I have no doubt in my mind that La Familia, if it was in California or one of these places where they do the dive-in diner and things like that, that we would see it on TV and it would be one of the things we would be trying to travel to just to eat. What we need to do is bring that, just keep building that up. Just keep building it up. So I love the fact that we have jewels such as you all, that we get to say, I know Mook Thuggin sounds like what you should hear at the BET Awards and on the stage for this. And guess what? I know him. I know I'll call him right now. Like, that's family. Like, I love to be able to say that, because it's like when people resonate with what's real, it's undeniable what's real. And La Familia, the food is great. There's undeniable, it's just no denying that. And Mook, your music is just whatever you touch, I think is just gold, because you're just one of those intelligent Black men that you know your purpose and you don't undervalue yourself. And that's easy to do being Black and brown. Yeah. Ida, I gotta give you your props just for being a Latinx woman, because being a woman in this, not only this society, but in Kalamazoo specifically, creates a whole nother barrier, So props to you for that. And definitely got to give shouts out to Sam again for just changing the game with the clothing, and sticking with it and doing something that's like resonates with the people. And I like that. And shout out to all of the entrepreneurs, Black, brown, otherwise. Like Mook said, like Sam said, keep pushing, keep moving, never give up. Put God and family first. And I don't think you can lose. That's just my honest opinion. I don't think you can lose. I don't think you can lose.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nation right there.
Yeah. So any last words from you all? You got to definitely say how to get in contact with you again, so people will know. But any last words?
Okay. Yeah. Last words, man. I just want to thank y'all for letting me be a part of this. Any more things that you guys have going on, please feel free to, reach out, and I would definitely like to be a part of. As far as contacting me, you can reach me on any social media. All you have to do is look up Mook Thuggin, or you can look up Mookie La Familia. That's funny because Ida has the restaurant La Familia. So,
real talk. Yeah.
You can email me anything, man. Once again, I appreciate the opportunity.
I just want to say thank you guys for giving me the opportunity today to speak to you guys, and I'm excited for your business, Mook. I'm excited for the Bill Play store. I didn't really know anything about it, but now that I got a little more insight, I think it's awesome, and I look forward to seeing you guys again, working with you maybe in the future, and supporting your businesses.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
damn,
we coming to set that biz. We coming to set that.
yeah.
I wasn't playing. We about to bring all of this together and have a commercial. I think that'll be dope.
Who needs film production work, anything like that, please, please, please contact the Family Visuals.
Yes, yes. I will be contacting you after this call so we can figure out when we can go in, have lunch at La Familia and peep the scene and what characters we want to get in there, a little background music, we got that, and let's make a production out of it. Either all with your direction.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I really appreciate you all having this conversation. I'm smiling a lot because I'm very happy, but I'm also, this is a very serious, intentional conversation on how do we transform the community in which we live in. When I first moved to Kalamazoo from Gary, Indiana, there was one black barbershop. I had a high top fade. They could not cut my hair. They just couldn't. There was an older guy in there. He had no idea. And he was messing people up back there. And I'm not even gonna say his name, but he was jacking the younger generation up. So a lot of people learned how to cut hair in their basements. They did a lot of entrepreneurial things then. And now you can go on any side of town in Kalamazoo and see different Black-owned barbershops. And that is what transforming the community looks like. And even though it's not a business, I'm proud of the fact that I can park in front of my house because we led a campaign to have the no parking, no stopping, no standing signs removed on the north side. And that is what transforming your community looks like. So you all are doing exactly that, transforming the community. I'm very serious about that endeavor, that business endeavor. So I will be reaching out soon. I thank you all for contributing to the community, for not taking your gifts elsewhere. You very well could have and still can. But at least we have a piece of the heritage, the culture, the intelligence, the spirit, the values. We have a piece of that in this community that we get to share and brag on and say we know these special and important people that help make the days go better. Honestly, yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure the community thanks you. With that, we out a little 5 minutes early. Yeah. Thank you.
Stay blessed. I appreciate
Peace.
y'all.
All right now.